What if I told you that losing her was the best thing that could have ever happened to you? What if I told you that this pain, this gut-wrenching heartbreak, is not a curse but a blessing in disguise? Most men collapse when a woman leaves them. They drown in regret, replaying every conversation, every mistake, obsessing over what they could have done differently. They stalk her social media, hoping for a sign that she still cares. They send desperate messages, waiting for a response that never comes. But here's the truth. A Stoic man does not break. A Stoic man does not beg. A Stoic man does not waste time chasing someone who has already chosen to walk away. Because the moment she picked another man, she made a decision. And that decision wasn't about you. It was about her. Now you have a choice. Will you let this break you, or will you use it to become stronger? Because here's the reality. When she walked away, she gave you a gift. She freed you. She released you from an illusion, from a false sense of security, from the lie that she was yours forever. Most men don't see it this way. They hold on to the past, thinking if they just prove their worth, if they just say the right thing, she'll come back. But that's not how this works. The more you chase, the more you validate her decision to leave. The more you beg, the more you confirm that she was right to walk away. A Stoic man doesn't play that game. He sees the truth. He doesn't waste energy trying to convince someone to stay. He lets her go, without hesitation, without explanation, without regret. Because he knows something most men never understand. Losing her was never really a loss. It was a turning point. She expects you to break. She expects you to be lost without her. She expects you to chase. But instead, you will do the opposite. You will rise. You will embrace the mindset of a man who cannot be shaken. A man who never loses because he never attaches. And that's when the real power shift happens. Because while she assumes you're suffering, while she expects you to be missing her, she has no idea what's coming. She has no idea that she just became irrelevant. She has no idea that by leaving, she just set you free to build, to evolve, to become the man she will regret losing. Now, you have a decision to make. Will you sit in the past, clinging to something that no longer exists? Or will you step into your power and show the world and yourself exactly what you're capable of? If you're ready to reclaim your strength, if you're ready to see the truth for what it is, then keep listening, because what I'm about to tell you will change everything. Love. It felt real, didn't it? The way she looked at you, the way she held your hand, the way she whispered promises in the dark. It all felt like forever. But here's the truth. What you thought was love was nothing more than an illusion. A mirage crafted by your own emotions. Now that she's gone, you're left with a harsh reality. Love, in its rawest form, is never as pure as it seems. Most men build their entire world around a woman. They invest time, energy, emotion, believing that she will always feel the same way. They make her their priority, their future, their everything. But what they fail to understand is this. Feelings are temporary. They shift like the wind, unpredictable and uncontrollable. One moment, she swears she loves you. The next, she's in another man's arms, acting as if you never existed. And you stand there, broken, asking yourself the same question every man has asked before. How could she move on so easily? The answer is simple. She never saw love the way you did. Men love with loyalty, logic, and permanence. They see a woman as their partner, their future. They commit. But women? Women love based on how they feel in the moment. They are driven by emotions, excitement, and the constant need for stimulation. When the rush of newness fades, when the emotional high of the relationship settles into routine, she starts looking elsewhere. Not because you did something wrong. Not because you weren't enough, but because she was never yours to keep. This is the illusion, the lie men are told from the time they are young. The idea that love is unbreakable, that devotion is forever, that a woman will stand by your side no matter what. It's a fairy tale, a fantasy. But a Stoic man sees reality for what it is. He understands that everything in life is fleeting, including love. He does not beg for permanence in a world where everything is temporary. Instead, he embraces detachment. He understands that love is not something to be owned. It is something that comes and goes like the seasons. Most men spiral when a woman leaves. They become desperate, trying to prove their worth, reminding her of the moments they shared. They text, they call, they plead. But all they're doing is proving their weakness. Because the moment you seek validation from the one who left, you are saying, "You have power over me." A Stoic man never gives away his power. He doesn't try to win her back. He doesn't chase someone who has already made her choice. Instead, he steps back, lets her go, and understands a fundamental truth. She was never his possession to lose. And that's where true strength is found. The moment you stop seeing love as something to be owned, something to be kept at all costs, you free yourself from the chains of heartbreak. You become untouchable. Because the man who cannot be broken by love is the man who commands respect. The man who does not chase is the man who is chased, and the man who does not need her is the man she regrets losing the most. Now it's time for you to see through the illusion, to stop seeing her as your loss and start seeing her as your lesson. You weren't defeated, you were freed. She expects you to break. She expects you to be lost, drowning in emotions, desperate to get her back. She expects you to lash out, to react, to beg for another chance. And that's exactly why you won't. Because the moment you let your emotions control you, you lose. Weak men allow their feelings to dictate their actions. They text her late at night, hoping for one last conversation. They stalk her social media, searching for any sign that she regrets leaving. They drown in self-pity, playing the victim, believing that their happiness was tied to her presence. But a Stoic man understands a fundamental truth. The man who controls his emotions controls his life. Think about it. What happens when you let your emotions take over? You become impulsive. You react without thinking. You act out of fear, out of pain, out of a desperate need to regain what was lost. And every time you do, you give her more power over you. The more you react, the more she knows she still has control. And when she knows that, she doesn't regret leaving. She feels validated in her choice. That's why the Stoic approach is different. A Stoic man does not suppress his emotions. He masters them. He does not ignore his pain. He acknowledges it, but does not let it dictate his actions. He steps back, detaches, and chooses how he will respond. Because he understands that true strength is not found in the absence of emotion, but in the ability to remain unshaken by it. Imagine this, a fire burns within you. It's the pain, the anger, the frustration of losing someone you cared for. A weak man lets that fire consume him, turning his emotions into reckless actions. But a Stoic man doesn't let the fire control him. He harnesses it. He uses it as fuel, as motivation, as a force to elevate himself rather than destroy himself. And that's what makes a man powerful. Not his ability to love. Not his ability to beg. Not his ability to prove his worth. But his ability to remain indifferent in the face of loss. The moment you stop reacting, the moment you stop seeking validation, the moment you stop caring whether she regrets her decision or not, you win. And here's the shift. When she sees you unaffected, when she sees that you didn't spiral, that you didn't chase, that you didn't break, that's when doubt creeps into her mind. She starts to wonder, did I make the wrong choice? She starts to question, was he more valuable than I realized? Because a man who is in control of himself is a man who is in control of everything. Women are drawn to strength, to mystery, to the unknown. The moment she senses she no longer has control over your emotions is the moment she starts wondering if she ever really understood you at all. This is why you must master yourself. Do not react. Do not chase. Do not give her the satisfaction of knowing she has power over you. Instead, step back. Breathe. Take control. You are no longer the man who begs for love. You are no longer the man who needs reassurance. You are the man who stands tall, who walks away without looking back, who is completely unmoved by the chaos around him. Walking away isn't losing. It's winning. Because the moment you walk away, you reclaim your value. The moment you walk away, you take back control. And the moment you walk away, she starts to feel the weight of your absence. Most men do the exact opposite. They cling. They try to negotiate. They send long paragraphs pouring out their emotions, hoping she will suddenly realize how much she meant to them. But here's the brutal truth. She already knew. She knew exactly what she was doing when she left. She knew you loved her. She knew you would hurt, and she still made her choice. Now it's your turn to make a choice. Will you degrade yourself trying to convince someone to stay? Will you hold on to someone who has already let go of you? Or will you do what a Stoic man does? Walk away without hesitation, without explanation, without regret. A Stoic man understands that walking away is not weakness. It's strength. Weak men cling. Weak men try to fix what's broken. Weak men beg for love that has already been withdrawn. But a man of value knows his worth. And a man who knows his worth does not plead for someone to see it. He simply removes himself. And here's the paradox. The moment you walk away, she starts to feel it. She starts to wonder why you didn't fight for her. She starts to question why you didn't beg. She expected tears. She expected desperation. She expected you to prove to her that she was the one for you. But instead, you disappeared. You left her standing there, wondering if she ever really mattered to you at all. And that's where power is found. Because people only value what they fear losing forever. As long as you are present, as long as you are available, as long as you are waiting in the background, hoping for another chance, she knows she still has you. But the moment you walk away for good, that's when she truly feels your absence. That's when the regret creeps in. Most women don't regret losing a man immediately. They only regret it when they realize he has moved on to something better, a better life, a better mindset, a better version of himself. They regret it when they see you thriving without them. They regret it when they realize they no longer have access to you. And this is why walking away is the ultimate power move. It's not about making her miss you. It's not about playing games. It's about understanding that a king never begs. A king doesn't convince someone to stay in his kingdom. A king simply lets those who wish to leave, leave. The moment you adopt this mindset, you will see a shift in your energy. You will stop being the man who pleads for love and start being the man who is worthy of it. Because true value is never found in desperation. True value is found in detachment. The one who walks away first is the one who wins. She thought she was making the right choice. She thought the grass was greener. She thought you would always be waiting in the background hoping for another chance. But now she's starting to realize something. She was wrong. Because while she expected you to chase, to beg, to prove yourself, you did the opposite. You disappeared. You leveled up. You became unreachable. And now, she's feeling the weight of that decision. This is the inevitable return. It happens when a man truly detaches. When he stops reacting, when he stops needing, when he stops giving her any energy. Because the brutal truth is, women rarely regret losing a man immediately. They only regret it when they see what they lost. And that takes time. At first, she's distracted by the excitement of something new, the thrill of attention, the temporary high of believing she made the right move. But after the dust settles, after the novelty fades, after she realizes that her new situation isn't as perfect as she thought, that's when the regret sets in. And when she looks back at you, expecting to see the man she left behind, she sees someone entirely different. She sees a man who is thriving, a man who has upgraded his life in every way, a man who no longer wants her, no longer needs her, no longer even thinks about her. And that's what makes her spiral. Because women are wired to desire what they can't have. And when she realizes that she can't have you anymore, that you've become someone she no longer has access to, she starts searching for a way back in. She'll test the waters. A random text, a casual "Hey, how have you been?" or a like on an old post. But this is where most men fail. They respond. They take the bait. They allow her back into their frame, hoping that this time will be different. But a Stoic man sees these tests for exactly what they are, a reaction to his indifference. She's not reaching out because she suddenly respects you. She's reaching out because your silence made her feel insecure. She wants to know if she still has power over you. She wants to see if she can still control you emotionally. But the moment you give her that validation, the moment you engage, the game resets. Suddenly, she no longer feels like she lost you. She feels like you were just waiting for her to come back. And that's why the Stoic man does nothing. He remains indifferent. He doesn't react. He doesn't respond. He keeps moving forward because he understands one undeniable truth. Once a woman leaves, she has already made her decision. And a man of value does not allow someone to make the same mistake twice. She will come back. They always do. But by the time she does, you will have outgrown her. You will have become a man so far beyond who you used to be that she no longer fits into your life, and that will be her greatest regret. She didn't leave you. You let her go. And now, you finally see the truth. You were the prize all along. At first, it didn't feel that way. When she walked away, when she chose another man, when she made you feel like you weren't enough, it seemed like you had lost. But the reality is she lost you. And that is a loss she will have to live with for the rest of her life. Because while she was out searching for something better, you were becoming something greater. You weren't crying over her. You weren't begging for another chance. You were building yourself into the kind of man who never has to chase again. You were creating a life so valuable, so powerful, so magnetic that her absence became completely irrelevant. And now you stand here looking back and you smile. Because you understand something most men never will. The man who masters himself, who controls his emotions, who never begs for love, that is the man who never loses. This is the Stoic mindset. It is the understanding that nothing outside of you defines your worth. Not a woman, not a relationship, not rejection, not loss. Your value comes from within. And once you truly embody this mindset, you become untouchable. You no longer fear losing someone because you know that a man who is truly valuable is never afraid to walk alone. You no longer seek validation from others because you validate yourself. You no longer chase love because you understand that the only love that matters is self-respect. And now she sees it. She sees the man you have become. She sees the strength, the success, the confidence, the absence of need. And that is why she regrets leaving. Because what she lost was not just a man. She lost an opportunity to be part of something great. But here's the difference. You don't care anymore. You don't care whether she regrets it or not. You don't care whether she misses you. You don't care about her choices, her mistakes, her feelings, because she is no longer part of your reality. You have won, not because you got her back, not because she regrets it, but because you have transcended the version of yourself that once thought she was the best you could do. And now, you know, she was never your prize. You were hers. This is the final level. The moment you stop chasing, stop reacting, stop caring, you become the man who is in complete control of his destiny. And once you reach that level, everything, money, success, women, respect, comes to you effortlessly. Because the man who needs nothing attracts everything. She didn't break you. She freed you. She didn't take away your happiness. She gave you the opportunity to build something greater. And in the end, it was never about her. It was always about you. The man who can master his emotions, who can walk away without hesitation, who can detach from what does not serve him, that is the man who wins in life. Because a Stoic man does not chase. A Stoic man does not seek validation. A Stoic man does not need. And that is what makes him powerful. Now you have a choice. Will you stay stuck in the past, obsessing over what's already gone? Or will you take this pain, this lesson, and transform yourself into the kind of man who never experiences loss again? Because once you reach this level of strength, once you become a man who is truly untouchable, you will never be heartbroken again. A man who knows his worth does not fear loss. A man who values himself does not need to convince anyone else to see it. And a man who is truly stoic is the man that everyone else regrets losing.